I mentioned earlier that I was going to show you a more capable way of working with files. So in a previous video, we used the touch command to create one, but it didn't have anything in it, which is usually not what you want. It's fine for creating a basic structure and some placeholders, but how do you actually edit content? We're really going to need to know how to do this for a couple of different reasons. When we get into configuration and we want to configure our web server later on, we're going to need to edit some text files in that Etsy folder that I showed you earlier. Another thing that you might want to do occasionally, maybe in rare circumstances, if you were in a lot of trouble, you published something on your website and it was absolutely wrong, and maybe you've got a long drawn-out process through a build server and different things. Maybe you just need to make a quick change, and so this is a great tool to do that with. Not that you should ever be making changes in production, but sometimes it happens, and sometimes that's just the easiest and fastest fix, especially if you've made a really big blunder that'll get you into trouble. So let's get ourselves out of this trouble by learning how to use the Nano editor. Now, I realize there are a lot of different editors that you could choose from in this environment in Linux. In fact, there's actually usually a very heated debate between which one is better. The two that are most generally used are Vi Improved, or VIM, and the other is Emacs. And these are sort of warring factions, kind of like ninjas and pirates, that kind of thing. I'm just going to avoid all of that political foo-for-ah and just use a really simple, easy-to-use text editor that's available pretty much on every system. The other big reason I go with this, I kind of alluded to it, simple text editor. I want something easy to use. If you want to use Vi or Emacs, you're going to have to take an entire course on how to use Vi and Emacs. In fact, the #1 asked question on Stack Overflow is, how do I get out of Vi? People find themselves trapped in Vi, and it doesn't make sense. You wouldn't think to type :Q to get out of something. That is actually the answer. And that's just an example of a text editor that isn't easy to use out of the box, but Nano is. So let's go look at it. I'm going to edit that index.html file that I can see there. So for that, let's type in nano index.html, and I get this nice editor screen. From here, I can put some code in here. So let's type in a basic HTML file. And it does a little bit of syntax highlighting for you there. You can do all the stuff that you're used to doing. You can do tabs. I'm going to space over 4. And let's do head, and we'll just do a really short one. Let's do title. And we'll close up the head tag. Now we'll add the body tag. And we'll add an H1. And we'll say booyah. That's my version of Hello World. We'll close up our H1. Close up our body. And close up our HTML. So now we've got an HTML page, and you can probably see the value in this. You have the ability to edit quickly and then save this directly back out. All of your commands are down at the bottom. Generally, though, there's only a few that you're going to need all the time. So you have the ability to get help, but the ones that we're really interested in are going to be writing out files and exit. That's generally what we're going to want first. So how do we write the file out? That caret, that figure that points upwards next to those letters, is the command key. So let's hold down command and press O. And it's going to say, okay, what do you want to write it to? And we're just going to keep this. We could rename the file to something else if we wanted to, and that would, of course, give us index.html with nothing in it, and then whatever the new file is with our HTML in it. But I'm just going to save it as is. And then down at the bottom, we have some extra formatting options that I generally don't use. We're generally changing files on the Linux system, not for DOS or Mac formatting. So we don't really need any of that stuff. So I'm just going to press enter here, and that will save my file. It'll say right down here, it wrote 8 lines. So now how do I get out of this? Control X. And now we're back to where we were. And let's do an ls-l. And now we can see the index.html file size is not 0. It is 123. I planned it that way. No, I really didn't. We can check the contents of the file just to see what's in there by typing in cat index.html, and it will show us the contents, albeit not in nice color code format, but it will show us what's in there. So we can see that this worked. We've been able to open a text file in our command line editor, make some edits, save the result out, and then exit the editor. If you found value in this video, if you learned something new, help me out with a like and subscribe. For more videos on software development and DevOps from a developer's perspective, check us out at maddevskills.com or on Twitter @devskills.